Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Mystic Junkies podcast, the history of mystery comedy show. We're not experts. We're just a little crazy, a little obsessed. And we're here with a special Christmas edition, right, guys?
Woo!
Yes. A Christmas podcast of the Junkies. Mm-hmm. This one's really cool. We're really excited to share it with you. It's the Santa Claus bank robbery. That's right, Santa.
Also known as the day they hung Santa Claus.
Oh.
Well,
right.
that would a different day. That would after the crime. Let's start.
Hold up.
Take two.
I didn't want to lead in with that.
Spoiler.
But,
Spoiler alert.
Santa Claus did some bad things, that's all I'm going to say. All right, he was on the naughty list this year. But, yeah, it was about a bank robbery that happened in Texas, 1927, if I'm not incorrect.
Yep, 1927 in Cisco, Texas.
Cisco.
2 days before Christmas.
2 days before Christmas.
2 days.
Yep.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It was the last public mob lynching.
Back to that.
Back to his death.
Circling back to the
How many people,
Let's
you're
do the
fixated on
crime.
this. You're like,
It's kind of fucked up. That's why, man.
We'll get to it.
Shit, and I was like, what the fuck?
a public lynching of,
We'll get to
of
it.
Santa.
So, who got lynched? I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
would be Marshall.
why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because he robbed the fucking bank.
Oh, okay, let's tell him about the bank robbery.
There you go. I like that.
Let's start with that.
Fine.
I like that. You just want to jump right to
Right
death.
into the death.
Very intense.
Death
Like,
and
this episode
mayhem.
is he robbed the bank and then
He
they
got
fucking
lynched.
killed him.
The
And this is how they
last
built the
public
rope.
lynching.
Yeah.
That was it. We're good.
This is how they tied the rope. This is how they.
Oh, there's better ones when it gets to the rope.
Oh. All right. Let's get into it. Let's start from the beginning. So 1927, right?
1927.
Yeah.
They were all ex-cons, right? One thing
Yep.
I did see, I thought was
One,
interesting.
but one
of them was, right?
One
And
of them
he-
wasn't.
What was his name again? Helms?
Marshall Ratfield.
Marshall Ratcliffe, Henry Helms,
Henry
Robert
Helms.
Hill, and Lewis Davis. And Lewis Davis was just family.
He was a
what I
friend
found.
of Helms, yeah.
Yeah, he was just a friend, or he wasn't like
And his brother Lee.
the other two they met in prison.
What I saw was like Ratliff and his brother Lee after robbing a bank in Valera, and they each served only a year of their sentences before being pardoned by the governor.
Because he was very charming. He's actually the guy Marshall. He's 24
Yes.
years old. He just was always a charmer and knew how to kind of like talk his way out of stuff. And then a lot of people in the city knew him.
Yeah.
And so they kind of rallied and petitioned to have him released. And then on top of that, his mom also made a very generous donation. So after serving a year, they were released.
Wow.
They were sentenced to
Donations.
18 years. So that is quite a
That's
difference.
amazing.
difference.
That's impressive as hell.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, man.
That's more impressive than the heist, I feel like. Getting out of
Like,
getting
out like that,
sentence.
yeah.
But the reason why, right? Because they robbed a bank the year before,
Right.
the actual Santa Claus thing, and his whole story was that I guess he was always like a bad kid, dropped out in 9th grade, and his mom put him to work, and he went to go work at a farm, and he was like, "Screw this! I hate laborious work." So he was just trying to always like find ways of making quick money. So I guess he went into the bootlegging business where he made and sold illegal alcohol. So when he did that, even though it was better than laboring, I guess he started to network and know people, and there was like a guy named Yule or something like that. Yule, like the Yule Tide. And Yule, I guess, was always like pretty well to do, always had like money, and he approached him and was like, "Hey, how do you always have money? This is just obviously shortening everything." And he said, "Well, to be honest, I actually robbed the bank a few years back, so I'm pretty set." And I forget how much money he had robbed, but that kind of planted the seed in Marshall's head. He's like, "Wow, okay, that's what I got to do. Is I got to rob a bank, then I'm set for life."
Right.
So that's what kind of happened. Then he kind of started conniving with his brother, and then he kind of was trying to plant the seeds in his brother's head, and therefore
That's the lead up to this.
right.
But his brother got arrested for another bank robbery, and he was in jail at the time, so he had to find somebody else.
So he could not
Somebody's
participate.
Very good at robbing banks.
His brother wasn't,
Get
obviously.
caught. I'm very good at that.
Or they
I
got
shouldn't
busted.
try again.
Why would you even go and be like, hey, you fucked up that last one. Let's
try
bring
again.
Yeah,
in on this
you have a
one."
great track
Yeah,
record.
you got such a great track record.
Robbing
You know?
It's wild.
I thought it was pretty funny that okay, so homeboy, the day of the robbery, Marshall, when I did reading this, every time all I could think of is Radcliffe.
Like Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe. That's all
Harry
I could
Potter.
think of.
Harry Potter.
Hey, dude, you're doing some really cool movies nowadays. Do this one. This shit, you could play this and be fucking hilarious. But so Marshall Ratliff, he was dropped off. He was dropped off in front of the bank the day of the robbery, just being like, okay, as Santa Claus. He got it from he got the Santa Claus thing. He borrowed it from a boarding house.
Okay.
The Santa Claus outfit. So he borrowed a Santa Claus outfit from the boarding house. And
He didn't even buy.
no, he borrowed one. He's just like, this is a great idea. Like, all right, we're going to go rob this bank. And it was the first, I think it was the first public or the first national bank.
Yeah.
And they drop him off in the front and they roll around to the back. So he gets dropped off and he's dressed up like Santa and starts acting like Santa. And that's what kind of fucked him.
Oh.
Yeah, like, because he started acting like Santa and he started getting a crowd. Like, a crowd of people started coming up and that's how it started. And then they ended up, it turned into a giant freaking gunfight. Like, a huge gunfight.
Well, before or after the.
Well, they took hostages inside. There were 16.
That escalated
Sorry.
fast.
No, it did.
It's
It
like,
escalated real
you
fast.
were like, there was a crowd of people, and then it got a lot more
it were
crowd
the
of people,
kids
and
that
then there
were
was a
following him
gunfight.
because he would dress like Santa, so the
Yeah,
kids
the
started
kids were all
following
following
That's
him.
him.
hilarious.
Yeah.
To be like, get out of here. Get out of here, kids.
But they followed him into the bank.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
That's what happened.
And
He
then
went
they were
into the
all a
bank and the
part
kids
of
followed him.
This bank robbery now.
So then they locked the doors in the bank.
Yeah.
And the kids obviously were in there. And another lady decided she wanted her daughter to see her son. So she goes to the bank to follow Santa in. And that's when she realizes that the place has been robbed. So she just goes straight
Bells
through.
and gangs, right? The Bells and gangs, the daughter and the mother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they go in.
So what happened was, because this guy, he had robbed the bank and obviously was unsuccessful the year before, he was kind of scheming, and it's almost like Ocean's 11 where he spent a few weeks and days planning this. And they lived in Wichita Falls, which was maybe 2 hours away from Cisco, where the robbery was going to take place. So he was trying to plan out things like, okay, we don't even have a car. I mean, they're like going to be burglars and they don't even have like a car. And then they were also saying, wait, like, Marshall is really well known there. They're going to recognize his face right away.
Yeah.
So that's where the Santa Claus thing came into play. Now, because he was, again, kind of like well liked and well known, he was living in a boarding house, which it kind of made me think of The Facts of Life, like Mrs. Garrett, But the lady there, his name is Midge, and she was sewing a Santa outfit for her husband because Christmas was coming up soon. So he was just like, hey, can I borrow it? And he was trying to come up with the other little details, like, for instance, we would get away in the back because the back of the bank leads into an alley. So we'll park the car there and then, drop me off a little bit further away from the bank because I'm the one going to be dressed as Santa.
Right.
So they were like trying to put together like all these little pieces, almost like Ocean's 11,
Yeah.
And he didn't think that, like, okay, for him, he just wanted the Santa outfit just to hide his identity. He didn't think like, hello, it's almost Christmas. People are going to be like, hey, Santa, and start talking to him. So
Right.
he really didn't take that into account, and that was to his demise.
Now, did he choose to be Santa because it was December? Because, like, if he was Santa any other time of year, people would ask a lot of questions. Questions. They'd be
Right.
like, why are you Santa?
I think that happened to be that Midge was making a Santa outfit because he didn't really think of that. He was thinking, I'm going to rob around December because he was thinking that the banks were going to have more cash at the time.
That makes more sense.
Okay.
Also, to kind of like backtrack, is back in the day, $5,000 was the equivalent of roughly $75,000 today.
Wow.
So it's kind of like
It was a big heist.
It was a big
Yeah.
score.
It's a pretty big score.
So they stole $5,000?
no. Well, I'm saying that because
That was the reward.
Yes.
Well,
It was a
5K
reward.
is
I was
how
gonna
much-
explain. I was gonna explain the
yeah,
reward thing.
5K was how much people got paid for finding or killing a robber back then.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, this was the golden age of crime. So people were literally robbing banks 3 or 4 times a week.
Wow.
Like bank robberies were so commonplace
time, yep.
that they came up with a law that was like, hey, if you were to kill
A robber in somebody robbing a bank, if you were to shoot him, you would give you $5,000.
but he had to be dead. He
That's
can't
like
be
a full-time
injured.
job. It's like 4 or 5
No,
times
it
a
turned,
week.
it turned everybody,
Like
it
a
turned
bounty
civilians
hunter.
into
Bounty
little
hunters.
bounty hunters,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Wild.
But they had to like reword some of the law because people would there would be like very unfortunate events where they might like set up something to make it look like someone else was going to rob a bank just to shoot them and then be like, well,
You were robbing a bank.
Edith was about to rob a bank, so I killed her. I got her. And then meanwhile, some innocent people are being killed, and you're getting the reward money.
Either way, you're
Oh,
getting
shit.
some money out of the
That's
deal.
the first thing I thought could happen.
Well, because something happened where like sheriff's deputies would set up where like they would drop off workers in front or nearby a bank, and then later on like there was like a church that set on fire, and then these sheriff's deputies were corrupt. They killed these 4 workers, and they said, oh, they set the church on fire to distract from the bank robbery that they were going to do. So now they had to reword it saying that look, they have to be in the middle of actively robbing the bank. And then also, it was
Yeah, you
horrible.
can't just be suspicious of somebody
Right.
and shoot them and be like, he's
Right.
a bank robber.
Correct.
And justify
He
his
has
murder.
money in his hands.
Look at the way he
but
sips his water.
Just took out a deposit. Like,
Yeah.
He just made a withdrawal.
So they
Gotta be very
went.
specific.
So they dropped off Santa. He goes to the front of the bank, right?
Yeah,
Trying-
Santa's in the front. The other
Trying
ones
to
are going to
be
the back.
inconspicuous.
Yeah,
completely
Trying to be
fucking
Secret
backfired.
Santa, if
Yep.
you
Yeah.
will.
It's like he imagined everybody would be dressed like
And
Santa.
they all and then the
kids followed him in.
Kids and moms pretty much followed him in.
Now I wonder if he was just like, "Hey, get out of here! Like, stop following me." Like,
Probably,
I'm bad,
but
Santa.
I mean, yeah.
Or the hostages. That's a good point.
Well, that they took hostages.
Yeah.
Like he
Well, they
straight up
had
took
to, though.
hostages.
So
he
when
made
did
a human
the
shield of hostages.
when did the cops get there? Is
Well-
there any information about that?
I don't know how fast. Like we can barely tell how fast cops get to us nowadays.
Well, no, I mean more like
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Just
can.
because I am a little confused. Is it only Santa has entered the building at the beginning of
enters
this
through the
bank
front.
robbery?
He's the robber. Pretty
He's
much.
And
through the
The
front,
3 accomplices come through the back door.
through the back door.
And they're not
Okay.
dressed as
brandishing guns.
Correct.
They're not
Okay,
dressed
I'm
as
caught
Santa.
up. I'm caught
People
up.
don't know who they are. They're just like regular
They
people.
only
So
knew
as
who Marshall
soon as they get
Okay.
in there, they start shooting, saying hands up.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing: is like because Marshall is greeted by like kids as he's making his way to the bank because they're like Santa, Santa. So he starts talking to them. You know, one kid was like, "Oh, I want that football in the window, whatever," right? And then one girl and her mom was approaching him, but he was like making his way to the bank. So when he was about to do the whole bank robbery, then the little girl and her mom came in, realized that the bank robbery was happening. She knew that there was a back entrance, so she darted for that when she realized that a robbery is happening. And then she went screaming on her way to like maybe the police station that a robbery is happening. And that's what notified the citizens and civilians to come and kind of do martial law.
because they're like,
I
yeah, we can
see.
get a lot of money.
Well,
for
that's
this.
the whole
Right.
thing. It turned
This is
into
worth
Right.
a lot of money.
giant,
Okay.
Like everybody wants 5K.
So everybody's
Everybody wants 5K.
it became the hunt for Santa.
It really did, and that it
Wow.
ended up like
So then
turning into a giant shootout
So it turned into a giant shootout at the bank.
at the
Yeah.
right, because all the civilians were out there, and all of the cops and the civilians were all over 100 people. They say were out in front of this place, ready to screw him up, get this guy because everybody saw money in their eyes.
Yeah.
And and homeboy, Marshall, Santa. I want to just call him Santa from here on out.
Yeah.
Like they didn't get far. They jumped he got shot.
So did they go out the back? I'm guessing
What's that?
the shootout happened at
Well,
the bank.
I'm not 100% sure about that. Did anybody get what side they came out of?
It says it right here. Hold on. Continue.
So they started a shootout inside of the bank. They were like, "Hey, give me all your money,
Well, that's
or I'll kill you, or I'll kill these
Well, I'm
hostages."
gonna guess because the car was in the back. They're trying to get out the back. I'm gonna guess,
yeah.
because that's where they came in.
Right.
Driver had to been not going through a bunch of fucking people.
That was the original plan. Was to
Original
rob
plan.
the bank, go out the back, and be gone. Yeah.
Yeah. but it didn't happen. He got stuck in there. Santa got shot, and he created a human shield. There were 16 hostages supposedly on the inside.
Okay.
With some of the people that came in and the people that were already there, and so Santa got shot. He killed 2 officers in the process.
Oh wow!
I'm pretty sure I got that right. Yeah, he killed 2 officers in the process. It just turned out into a giant shootout of civilians too, just shooting into the bank.
That's terrible.
It's crazy.
Not great.
Yeah, it turned into Then they stole 2 young girls. 2 young girls became hostage.
Oh no.
Put them into the car. Started hauling ass. Tire was shot out. The engine was running out of gas, probably because one of the bullets went through the tank.
They forgot to get gas.
No, I thought too. I thought that too. It would have been fucking hilarious if that was what it was.
Yeah.
But the
Forgot
engine
that
ran
in
out
this
of gas,
game.
and so they only really got down a couple blocks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they didn't get too fucking far.
Oh, no.
And they had the 2 hostages, and by the time the cops ran up on them on the car, they were gone. But there was a Santa Claus outfit, and the 2 girls left.
Were they alive?
Oh,
Yeah.
so they left the girls.
They left the girls.
Okay.
Girls were alive,
Okay.
and a Santa Claus outfit in the car.
What a signature.
Yeah. It's just like, it's a little weird, but yeah, when you think of it. But yeah, at least he left the little girls alive.
So all of them escaped though.
Um,
All the accomplices.
I'm not. Everybody got away. No one died that day.
Right.
So they all initially got away.
Foreshadowing. I like it.
No one died that day.
So then, I read that it led to the state's largest manhunt.
Yep.
To this
Largest
day, right?
manhunt in Texas. Well, in Texas, I guess.
In Texas, yeah. To this day, yeah. Okay.
What happens next?
Yeah.
Well,
what happened?
Radcliffe, I can't keep saying Radcliffe.
Just call him Harry Potter.
I was gonna
So
say
Harry
the same.
Potter Santa. So Harry Potter Santa got shot multiple times, and Henry. Well, God, that's jumping pretty far in. Henry ended up escaping. Oh, Henry and Robert ended up escaping, and Henry was executed for killing the cops in the long run.
So
So how did they
eventually
get caught? How did they find that
Yeah.
it was them?
Anybody?
As they began their getaway, let's see. There's a lot to say. Do you want me to just read what I'm seeing, or?
Yeah, I mean, let's just try to summarize it, I guess.
No.
I also thought one funny thing was that, well, not funny, but ironic thing was when he was like planning all that out, like Ocean's 11 style. He had like one guy who was really good with like opening up like safes and being in charge of like the armory or guns and weapons. But that guy came down with the flu, so he couldn't go through with it, right? But he said, oh, I got a guy to sub. And then the substitute guy had a wife and kids, and he was like, look, I'll only do it if no one's going to get hurt. He says, I don't want, any, don't hurt anybody, don't shoot anybody. I only do it, and that's it. And then so obviously that was unfortunate because that didn't happen.
So it says here that they ended up capturing them 7 days after the actual bank robbery. And they could tell as they were fleeing away, they could see that what you were saying is Ratliff, not Ratcliffe.
Yeah, I know.
He was severely wounded, and they found his trail, and they realized that he was bleeding, and they were becoming weak, and they couldn't really get very far. So that actually made it really easy for them to find them. Like I said, 7 days.
One of them had been shot.
Exactly.
They left the money in the car.
It was like 12K.
And
they had like 12K that they fucking got.
And the one guy was unconscious in the back of the car, so Ratliff and Hill left him in the car unconscious and forgot to take the money with them, but they took the 2 kids.
Robert ended up
And
getting
fled.
99 years.
And
Robert ended up getting 90 years. But he
escaped
escaped
prison
twice.
3 times.
3 times? I only heard 2 times.
Yeah, he
He escaped
prison
twice.
3 times and was recaptured each time.
Yeah, but then he got parole in the 40s, and then he died in 1996. It's not even that long
It
ago.
says he, after settling down, he was paroled in the mid-1940s, changed his name, and became a productive citizen.
Aw,
Yeah, it's a happy ending.
that's sweet. Yeah.
It says here when they were captured that they found them, and they had gone like days without food.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
don't you think if you knew you were on the run, you
Gonna
may
take some-
take some snacks or something?
Slim Jim.
Yeah, but
Like,
if
prepare?
you're at large, you know, and everybody has a gun in Texas.
Yeah,
And you know how they got those guns, right? The citizens went and rifled hardware stores and stole pistols so they could go back to the bank.
So they
and
looted
shoot.
to go and screw people up to
Well,
make
isn't that
money.
ironic?
That's so.
They
Right?
made people lose money to try to make money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they rifled.
Like, I'll pay you back. And
Yeah,
then
right.
some.
Yeah, window. Wait till I get the $5,000.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, it's
But okay, so Marshall was sentenced to death, but he tried to plead insanity. Let's get to this shit.
No,
Well,
they are
Hill.
crazy.
Hill did.
Well,
Yeah,
MMA
crazy.
Robinson pointed out Marshall. He tried to plead
Oh, you're
insanity.
right. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah, he tried to plead insanity. He was sentenced to death. And they forgot. One night they forgot. They used to fuck with him so much. One night they forgot to lock the cell. And he escaped. He stole a jailiff's gun and shot another cop.
Damn.
He shot another cop. He's already a cop killer. Now
Yeah.
he's trying to escape, and he shot another cop. And now there's two cops. There's multiple cops dead now. So it started that. That's what started the giant riot outside, and the civilians stormed the jail. That's how they all started doing that. Is they found out that he killed another cop. Then they all drag his ass out. This is where it gets really crazy. They drag his ass out, and this is why it's the last lynching in Texas.
The last
Public
mob
lynching
Yeah.
in Texas. They drag him out, and they rope him up and hang him. And the first rope broke. The first rope broke. But guess what? We got another one ready to go. Second rope got him. And yeah, that was the last public mob lynching in Texas.
So they got pissed that he killed another cop, so they were like, "You're not doing the right job,
Yeah.
law enforcement, so we'll kill him instead."
Pretty much.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Terrifying.
Mob mentality,
I
man.
hate that.
it said Helms was identified as the one who had gunned down both lawmen and was
Yeah.
given the death sentence in late February. After an unsuccessful insanity plea, he was executed by electric chair on September 6, 1929. So not even that long after the robbery. Usually, like, the death sentence takes forever to fucking carry out. And that's wild.
Yeah, they fucking hung his ass, and that's why they call it the day they hung Santa Claus.
Wow.
Poor guy.
Well, maybe
Just wanted to rob a bank.
don't rob banks in Texas. That's what I'm learning from here.
Or know how to rob a bank
Oh,
in
Or
Texas.
yeah, do it
Yes,
effectively.
Right? Yeah, Jesus, I'm sure there's places.
What the hell?
That's amazing.
Gosh.
Pretty screwed up, man. Yeah.
You know, I
you
bet he
know,
was thinking it probably wasn't
You
worth
never
it.
know if you don't try.
Right? I mean, seriously, right now, okay, so this is what it equates to, though, is like what they almost got away with would equate to about $185,000 right now. So, is that worth robbing a bank nowadays? Man, I need like $1 million, man. Did it really
I mean,
give a shit?
185. What are you gonna do with that? Get a mortgage?
There we go. That's what I'm saying. Go buy a house
do
and
much
not
else.
even be able to pay off the whole
Right.
house. You know, just a down
Can't do
payment.
much with that.
The market these
Never buy a
days.
car.
Yeah. Go get a Tesla, maybe, in a fucking trailer.
Right.
Pull it on. Fucking A.
These guys weren't very good bank robbers.
No, not at all. I mean, they were in their
I mean,
early
it
20s.
was the first time.
They were 0 for 2.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
okay,
yeah,
the
some
second
of them.
time. Maybe third time's a charm.
I
but
don't
they just
think it-
didn't get-
No,
they just didn't get that
no.
chance.
If you fucked up 2 times,
You're like,
Don't
maybe
go
this
for the
isn't
third.
my career goals.
like, I mean, if your life is on the line, at least,
like,
you know.
you don't never give
Oh my
up.
god. So
What sounds like you
so
found something.
after the it says no one was ever tried in association with the lynching, although a grand jury was formed. But it says several thousand persons viewed Ratliff's body the next day at a furniture store in Eastland before Judge Garrett ordered the corpse locked up.
Wow.
So
Everyone wanted to see it.
They just positioned him in a furniture store.
With a broken neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Here's-
then
What sucks is that the Santa Claus outfit was in the car. That would have been great if he was dressed up as Santa the whole time.
yeah. Right.
What? How times have changed.
You telling me, man?
Man.
I can't identify any time nowadays where it'd be like, well, that guy.
Well,
just
how
died,
times have
so we'll
changed.
put him here on display.
You can just
Or
go into a bank
funerals.
with a note. I mean, you see all the bank robberies since, like the most recent bank robberies and shit. People just walk in and they're just like, here's a note, and it says, "I want the money. Put it in the bag." And they do it because they're insured.
Yeah, they're insured.
And usually, like, and sometimes there was a whole robbery based on a true story that, you know, he even said, don't put die packs in there, don't put tracers in there, you know, and they don't do that if you ask them not to do that. You know, it's just weird as fuck to think, you know, like, and that was like in the 70s.
Did you know Bradenton had a bank robbery? Like, let's see, I was in welding school, so that was 8 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, so somebody robbed a small bank in Bradenton, and it ended up as a shootout at McDonald's down the street.
Wait, was that the three guys?
I think so.
Well,
There was
with
multiple.
the old man?
I don't know the ages. I just know
Why McDonald's?
Well, that was
They were
where
going
they
for
ended
something
up.
to
They
eat.
were
They got
down
hungry
the
after.
street.
Right.
Down the
Still
street.
got to go for the value menu. You just
So,
got that money.
Obviously, not good bank robbers either. They got caught pretty quickly.
My buddy,
You will do if you stop off at McDonald's across the street.
I need a cheeseburger
Yeah, they just went
before
over
I
at
get home.
Road for lunch.
That'd be funny. It's the one right across. Let's go get a value meal.
Yeah, you get the fuck out of there.
Need a
Yeah.
Diet Coke
You
before
don't
I get on the
stop
road.
for fucking snacks.
Well, the dude that I was talking to, there was three guys, and one was an old dude, and an elderly, probably in his 60s, and they were going around Florida robbing banks and just doing exactly what I said. Just, here you go. Just give me the money. And they got away with so many times. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. It was just like, okay, cool, let's go. Okay, cool, let's go. Until there was one time, that's what made me think it might be them, that it turned out bad, and they all fucking got arrested. I don't know if it turned into a shootout, but these guys went throughout Florida murking banks just by giving them a note and putting it in the
It's so
bag.
funny to be like, oh, you got me. I can't put the die packs of the tracers. He wrote it down.
He wrote it
Says
down.
it right here. We can't do that. Damn, he's good. That fucking guy's good. He got good penmanship.
It reminds me of DB Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
very
like,
much so.
here's a note.
It would be kind of funny if you just had a really bad handwriting, though.
They couldn't read
You're
what you
like, you just
said.
hand them a
So
note.
what
They're
does this
just like,
say?
what the fuck is it?
Rob a teddy bear? What the fuck?
Bob the bank? I'm like,
Bob the banker.
what the fuck is his
Like,
name?
I know.
Yeah,
The
there's
choo-choo
a
train.
my buddy is his mom's a hairdresser, and she said one time a guy came in and he had that blue dye all over his hands, and he was asking her if she could put like a nail polish remover and see if she like to
Get
get
rid
it
of
off. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. And she went in the back and called the police. and then
She's
like,
a snitch.
And then went
she's
to
she's a
scrubbing his
boss.
hands.
And then went back
Yep.
to like trying to scrub it off
Until
just
police
buying
came,
time until
right?
the police
Yep.
came. Yeah.
Yep, yeah, just keep it going. You know?
I don't think we'll ever
That's
not
clever.
have bank robberies. You know?
No, it'll keep getting more. It'll escalate, and the technology will.
Well, yeah, now they
continue.
can steal banks or steal money from banks online now.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Well, you can fucking rob
You
a
can
person
steal
just by
people.
being-
Steal
yeah,
money from people. Just,
Yeah.
just by
Yeah.
being next to them, you know, with that fucking
Right.
like, you know, peer-to-peer fucking shit on some of the phones. There was a big people were robbing at least information for a while just by that what is that airdrop shit.
Yeah.
If you were close enough to somebody, they could grab all your information.
Yeah.
Like it's getting technologically advanced. Santa's not gonna work anymore, guys.
It didn't work the first time.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
And it's surprising that it hasn't been done again.
The Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please tell us if you guys know of any robbers out there that have done it at Santa Claus.
Well, what about the guy? Didn't the guy rob a bank in Florida with an alligator?
He robbed a
Yeah,
drive-through.
he came up.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a bank. Was it a bank?
He robbed
or
a drive-through
grocery
with
store?
an
Amscot,
alligator.
probably.
Yeah, and he came
Yeah.
in with the gator in his hand. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, get him.
He's gonna fucking set a gator on somebody.
Yeah, a
Feels-
gator.
that feels Florida.
That's
that
the most
feels-
Florida
sounds
man.
about
you can
right.
That's
possibly
pretty fucking
get.
Florida, man.
Yeah, I just give him the money. Like, you can have this.
I'd be like, do
you
I get
need
the?
this?
I'd be like, leave the gator, bro.
I'll keep
Like,
it.
I'll give you the money, but you gotta leave the gator.
Don't
He
hurt
looks
the gator.
very stressed out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was a little baby gator, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was only like this big. It was
Yeah.
like a 4-foot gator.
and he's just
older.
carrying it around.
Yeah, like it was a bazooka or like, you know, an underarm fucking carry dog.
So what?
Yeah,
why wouldn't they just say no? What are you gonna
Chop
do?
your
What are you gonna do with your
hands.
You know
gator?
how
You gonna
fucking
throw it at me?
You know
Well,
how
they're
scared people are
obligat-
of lizards?
Yeah.
I see ladies and dudes freak the fuck out over little lizards this big.
Now I'm picturing someone robbing a bank with a lizard.
He's coming in with an iguana or like 2 lizards in hand, 2 of them hanging off their ears like little kids.
Yeah, like earrings.
Yeah, you see this?
This could be you.
See this? This could be you.
And then that motherfucker's gonna go,
Yeah.
here's your money.
I mean,
Exactly.
I hate
Here
my
it is.
job.
And then you just release the lizards and
Yeah.
you run. You know?
Release the
that would
lizards.
work.
I don't think any of us will be very effective bank robbers based upon all the plans we have displayed
Oh
here.
man, nah, I'd go in there with like a sack of cockroaches, like thousands, and then just drop
That sounds
it.
very
Watch 'em
effective.
run.
You'd also
I
turn
would
into a
run
super
too.
villain all in that one move.
All right. You know?
I hope that nobody listens to this and starts robbing banks because
Yeah,
they heard
we-
Matt go, "You just write a note,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
dude,
then
it's
you
out
can
there. I
have
didn't
all the
just
money
drop
you've
this
asked
knowledge.
for."
There was a
Just as nicely as put
as
please
real
at the end of the
nicely.
letter.
the money.
this one kind of ties into us a little bit, but there was he's actually been here before, but there was an open micer comedian who robbed a bank. The story was he robbed a bank for $95,000 in Tampa, right? Robbed the bank, went home, dropped the money off at home, went to the Side Splitters open mic,
Oh my god.
right? Couldn't get on the list, and then went back to his house, opened the money, splatoosh, got splatted.
Got
Then
got.
didn't even change his clothes, went back to Side Splitters,
What the fuck?
and then
As a Smurf?
the police,
And then
the
got
police showed
arrested.
up, yeah. But like he didn't even they didn't even know, they had no clue who it was. Like
Yeah, what a
he found
dumbass.
out that like in that whole thing, like he could have, like he thought for sure they were gonna get him. You know what I mean? So he was kind of like, I'm just like,
Dude, as
buying
soon as
time.
I joined the Blue Man group, I would have just fucking
Right.
been gone. I would
Yeah.
have taken money and been in another state.
Yeah, so they actually didn't have any fucking clue who it was either. So it's like he could have gotten away with it.
Yeah, but he went back to what? To
Yeah.
see if there was an
I
open
think-
spot on the open mic? Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I met the guy.
it was a
It was
dumbass.
probably a cry for help. I'm gonna be honest with you. It wasn't. I think he probably walked out of there like, I can't believe this worked. Like this is insane. You know. He's like,
And then
I
he regretted
I wanted
it.
to get arrested today, and now I have $95,000.
I wanted to get shot to death.
Yeah.
You know, he was like trying to
No,
commit
like, for real.
suicide. You know, by what do
That's
they call
crazy.
that? Yeah.
suicide by cop.
By cop. Yeah, exactly. Just
Why won't anybody kill me?
God damn it! I just look like a stupid Smurf.
Why am I
with a
still
bunch
alive?
of money.
Now, I don't know if I would consider him a bad bank robber or a good bank robber.
very
Because he
good
seemed
one.
pretty effective,
He's a-
but he's
good
not
bank
good
robber,
at keeping
But
secrets.
stupid.
Yeah, good bank robber, bad
Open micer.
Yeah, choices afterward. Like,
Yeah. All right. Well, we did it. The Santa Claus,
good old fucking
the
Santa.
heist.
Don't hang Santa Claus, guys.
Yeah.
Even if he robs a bank.
Also,
hang
thank God we got rid of that $5,000 reward for catching people.
Did we get rid of that? Did that ended?
I hope so.
Well, there's still, you know, if you're narking people out, I think you can get a couple grand or something like that nowadays. But
Yeah,
I
but-
don't think you get
You have to have a special
like that.
badge to do
you don't
that.
just, you can't just shoot a motherfucker and be like,
I want to be a
I did
bounty
it.
hunter. That'd be
5K.
fun.
Pay
That'd be
me.
cool.
They
I always
ended
wanted
it.
to be one too.
Yeah.
They ended it in
yeah.
1964.
1964.
Wow, it took him that long.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, they
Dang.
didn't end bounty hunting.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I
What a
always
great
wanted to be a
quality
bounty hunter,
television show.
Well, that's it. We did. That's our Christmas special, guys. We got through it.
We did.
Good old Krampus and fucking Santa Claus dying.
Yeah. By the way, Santa Claus doesn't come out too fucking good on in these stories. To be honest with you,
No.
it's kind of being a little naughty. But where can they find us, Jason? You know the.
You can find us on Facebook at McCurdy's Comedy Theater. You can find us on Instagram at McCurdy's Comedy Official. You can find us on TikTok at Mystic Junkies. You can send us an email at mysticjunkies@gmail.com. And then you can come see a comedy show at McCurdy's Comedy Theater. It's in Sarasota. You should come.
Check us out.
Check us out.
Check us out, guys. All right.
See ya.
Woot woot.
We love you long time.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Respect.